The Saliva Tree by Brian W. Aldiss. I read this novella in a Tor Double book where it was packaged together with Born with the Dead by Robert Silverberg. The Saliva Tree was written to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the birth of H.G. Wells. It is a humorous piece and might even be classified as a shaggy dog story. The novella was first published in the September 1965 edition of the Magazine of Fantasy and Science Fiction. The 1965 Nebula Award for Best Novella was shared by The Saliva Tree and He Who Shapes by Roger Zelazny. Gregory, the story's protagonist, is an as yet unemployed gentleman of the late 19th century. He has graduated from university but has not determined to which vocation he will commit himself. He coasts along on a small allowance from his wealthy father. Gregory lives in a boarding house and makes regular visits to a farm owned by a man named Grendon. They share mutual interests in science and socialism. Then, too, Grendon's daughter Nancy is a very pretty young woman. While watching meteor showers emanating from the constellation of Auriga one February night, Gregory and his friend Bruce see a nice big one make a fiery descent to Earth, seemingly impacting not far away. The next day, on his trip to the farm, Gregory learns the thing landed in Farmer Grendon's pond. Gregory rows out on the pond to investigate and is terrified when something invisible nearly capsizes his rowboat. What follows is exactly the sort of thing that so often frustrates me about 19th century fiction. This allegedly educated man, an exemplar of Britain's finest, is so little impressed by encountering an invisible extraterrestrial that he becomes preoccupied with ordinary occurrences and completely forgets about it. This sort of nonsensical behavior seems to have been common in late Victorian literature. It was as if respectable citizens did not give credence to even their strangest experiences because they knew such things were not supposed to be possible. The occurrences of the novella include livestock having the insides sucked out of them by the alien life form, leaving only an empty skin, something like a deflated balloon. The matriarch of the Grendon family goes insane after giving birth to an impossible litter of 9 baby humans, all of whom she later smothers with a pillow. The only member of the family who seems stricken by the horror of the whole situation is the daughter Nancy, but even she is very quickly willing to put it all behind her and move into town with plans to marry Gregory. It seems Gregory has been corresponding with an author he holds in very high esteem, a certain Mr. H.G. Wells. He explains all the strange happenings at the Grendon farm in letters and hopes this forward-looking man of intellect will take his claims seriously. In the final pages of the story, Wells comes to town. This is after the aliens on Grendon's farm have decided to return to wherever they came from. Gregory learns the great man is staying in room 3 of the local inn, and the story ends with him going upstairs to confer with H.G. Wells. If we are comparing this tale to a shaggy dog story, then the punchline is the fact that the horrors of Grendon Farm contain all the elements Wells used to write The Invisible Man, Food of the Gods, and War of the Worlds. Other titles of Wells' books, Things to Come, for instance, are liberally sprinkled throughout the narrative. Okay, bottom line is this is an amusing, if sometimes frustrating, tale set in a 19th century rural community in Great Britain. The characters are familiar, hackneyed stereotypes, and Aldiss seems to have borrowed some of his tropes from H.P. Lovecraft's work. I can see why this was popular enough with SF readers of 1965 to earn it a Nebula Award. It is definitely not some of Brian W. Aldiss's best work. Still, I enjoyed the experience of reading it. The saliva tree of the title is taken from a dream the protagonist has when he's recuperating from a gunshot wound. The villagers who know the hungry extraterrestrials are a reality speculate that they are a couple of interstellar travelers on honeymoon who have come to Earth to relax and enjoy delicious food. Gregory, who begins the story as a committed socialist looking forward to a worldwide utopia he expects science to usher into existence, is deeply shaken by the encounter with ETs. He wonders if kindness, compassion, and all the higher human virtues are actually scarce in the universe. Is the cosmos populated mainly by creatures who can construct spaceships but have no interest in communicating with other intelligent species, preferring simply to eat them? The Saliva Tree by Brian W. Aldiss, a noteworthy novelty tale intended to pay homage to one of the fathers of science fiction. Check it out.